Here we are, let's go. You know what, I don't know how they did it, but they did it again. Zoologist delivered again. And what did they deliver? Well, they delivered a new fragrance called Rabbit. And honestly, I've been super excited for this fragrance ever since I heard that it was gonna release. I mean, you know what this is? This is the first true, real gourmand fragrance by Zoologist. I mean, you could say harvest mouse is a little gourmandy. You could say cow could be gourmandy, maybe even elephant, but guess what? Rabbit is the first true gourmand fragrance by Zoologist, and I'm super excited. I love gourmand fragrances. I have some bangers upcoming in the next few weeks for you to smell, but until then, we're gonna smell Rabbit. Here's my 10 ml, let's get spraying. Oh, I just love the atomizers out of this even. Here we go. Okay, right up top with this, you get hit right off with a sweet, powdery, vanillic almond type smell. That's right there. There's a little bit of freshness in this, a little bit of citrus fruits, not too much. It's mostly fresh, powdery almond. And then you get this very nice, mysterious, like dry leaf smell, almost like dry grass. It's not like off-putting, but it's there. So once again, you get vanilla, powdery almond, almost like dry, crumply leaves. Picture like fall leaves that fell and you're stepping through them and they're crunching. Kind of that kind of a dryness, that kind of a leaf smell mixed with the powdery almond. And then you get a little bit of this like vegetal type smell, almost like a root vegetable, like a carrot. Rabbit, so probably like a carrot. I mean, there's carrots notes in this, right? But you do get this mild, like vegetal, green, earthy smell mixed in with the powdery almond vibe you get. But here's what happens as this starts to dry down. The dry down on this fragrance, to me personally, is absolutely amazing. And I'm gonna tell you why, because it's super unique. I have never smelled another gourmand fragrance that even smells remotely similar to this. I mean, if I had to really toss one out there, maybe like Telegramma from Imaginary Authors has like a talc powdery vanillic smell. There's a couple from Etat Libre di Orange that are similar to this, but I have not smelled a gourmand fragrance that is like this. During the dry down, what happens to this fragrance? You go from powdery, dry leaves, dry grass smell, a little bit of almond smell, and it turns into this very insanely unique, nice vanilla cream cheese frosting smell. It's absolutely like mind-boggling. I don't know what accord can you hear me? I don't know what accord they mixed to have a cream cheese frosting smell. So when you put that together and you think of the name Rabbit, what is this fragrance? What does it smell like? This fragrance is a carrot cake, 100%. There's this like really nice creaminess to this cream cheese. It's such a realistic cream cheese smell, cream cheese frosting that is. It's just crazy, and there is jasmine in this fragrance, and I feel like that has to be one of the contributing players to that creaminess. I'm actually very curious how they made that accord. I wish I could like talk to the perfumer and just like figure out what they mixed that smells like cream cheese. Like, how long did that take them to make this? I don't even know, Mortimer. No, I don't want Chinese food. I'm trying to do a video. I'll order something later. So once again, up top, as you first smell it, you get hit. I mean, there's a little bit of citruses going on, a little spicy, like a cinnamon vibe, but you mostly get hit with that powdery almond and the dry leaves or like grass or hay note kind of mixed together. You get that right off. This is a sweet fragrance because then it goes very sweet into this very delicious vanilla cream cheese frosting smell that just comes together oh so nicely into this amazing carrot cake. Sometimes I wonder, it's like, do they approach a perfumer and say, hey, listen, we want to make a fragrance called Rabbit, go at it? Or does the perfumer already have a fragrance and then they think maybe this will smell like a rabbit? Or I don't know how that works, honestly. I'm not a perfumer, but I wish I was. Maybe I will be, who knows? There is a little bit of a sourness to this fragrance, and I think that it's not off-putting. I think that it's there to balance out the sweetness so it's not too cloying. To me personally, this is not a cloying fragrance. It is very, very sweet though. So if you don't like a sweet fragrance, you probably won't like this. If you do like gourmands, super edible style fragrances, then this one is one of the most unique that I've smelled to date. But there is a little bit of a sourness. I think it's probably from the apple in here, or one of the citrus notes, just to balance that sweetness a little bit. It doesn't come off funky. It's not challenging. It's not super animalic. The most challenging aspect of this fragrance is gonna be like the dried leaves or hay note. Hold on. Let me give you the vibe of this fragrance. Like if I had most Zoologist fragrance, they have like a vibe to them. It's not just a smell, it's a whole vibe. So this fragrance to me is another nostalgic one, just as, Penguin was in the last video I did with them. So this reminds me, for some reason, I'm not getting spring as much, but I'm getting fall in this fragrance. It's like an autumn fragrance to me personally with that dried leaf smell. This smells like if you were going on a picnic, you had your picnic basket, you're walking in like knee-high grass along the edge of a forest. I'm talking like fir trees, pine trees. You're walking on the edge of the forest, you find a little bit of a clearing, you lay your blanket down, and then you pull out a nice huge slice of carrot cake. That's what this fragrance smells like. You're eating carrot cake, sitting on a blanket in the grass in the autumn next to a forest on the edge. It just smells so good. It just gives you that vibe. It gives you that autumn vibe. It's like a really, really nice fragrance. I mean, for uniqueness, 10 out of 10. I've never smelled a cream cheese vanilla frosting fragrance. I love powdery fragrances too, and for the Zoologist line, it was missing like a true gourmand. There were some fragrances that were tickling, but there was not a true gourmand, super edible fragrance, and Rabbit delivered that. And with most Zoologist fragrance, the longevity and the projection is, very good. I would say strong, maybe 1-2 sprays a little bit more moderate, but you do 3 to 4 solid sprays. We're talking 7+ hours, 7 to 12 hours. You're gonna radiate with this fragrance beyond arm distance reach. I think if you walks by somebody, they're definitely gonna smell you. I did get some compliments with this fragrance, and honestly, I was a little bit surprised because it's such a unique, strange fragrance. It does smell good, but your first reaction is like, oh, a little dusty, a little woodsy, a little grassy, a little leafy, and then it's like, wow, cream cheese carrot cake is smothered all over me. So it's got an interesting fragrance to pull a compliment from. And overall, I think this is a very unisex fragrance. It really is. But to me personally, it might lean a little bit more feminine, just giving like maybe because it's a lighter, happier gourmand. It's a very happy fragrance. It's like a bunny rabbit, really. So it might lean a little bit femme, but I think it's pretty gourmand. I personally love this. I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. And the perfumer of this fragrance is Fanny Ball. And if you're not familiar with her, one of my favorite fragrances that she made is by Givenchy, and that would be the Lentardy line. Is that how you say it, Lentardy? I don't know. They made a few of them. Rouge, Intense, really good fragrance. So if you're a fan of her, she also did Autumn Vibes by Maison Margiela, the replica series. If you're a fan of her work, definitely check this out. And like I said, I did receive a few compliments wearing this fragrance, and I was a little bit surprised by it. And I think it's because it's mainly an attention grabber, and not per se because it smells so amazing, but I think that it's just so different that it would really catch somebody off guard if they smell this on you. Like, my first reaction if I smelled this on somebody would almost smell like they literally took a slice of carrot cake and like smothered all over their neck. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Is that a bad thing? Probably not, but it's definitely an interesting thing that would grab attention, especially if a man wears it. You smell a guy that smells like carrot cake? I mean, I'd be like, what are you wearing, bro? That cream cheese frosting note is what makes this to me. That note is just super unique. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they make that note. The whole vibe of this fragrance, it's like fun and playful. It's like animated. It's almost like a cartoon. It's like a Ghibli movie. Like if there was a Baker and Kiki's delivery service, like that's what the shop would smell like. Less of a woodsy smell or an animal smell, more of like a bakery pastry cake smell that has woodsy elements to it. It's like if you went and picked up a carrot cake in the fall and then you had to walk through the forest going to your grandmother's house to deliver it to her. That whole vibe, that whole essence is what you get here with Rabbit. But unfortunately, as the filming of this video today, this fragrance is not currently released, but it will be released on May 24th, 2024. So as of filming this video, that's in a few weeks, honestly, and I'm super excited to get my full bottle. I absolutely can't wait. And I think it's 60 ml. They're roughly $175. I'm not sure if that's the exact price, but that's the price of their whole line. So I'm guessing the 60 ml will be $175. Their 10 mls like this roughly go for 50-ish, I think. But right now, if you go to their website, the Zoologist websites, they do have samples for sale. The 1.5 ounce, that's not right. The 1.5 ml, right? The 1.5 ml spray vials, they're roughly $8. So if you want to smell this early, you can go check that out. If you buy a full bottle of another fragrance, sometimes they send samples with that, so you might get this too. Overall, I give this fragrance for uniqueness, 11 out of 10. For the smell personally, I'm gonna say 8.5 to 9 out of 10 because it's so unique. I love gourmand fragrances, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a good release. It really is. The name is perfect. The concept is perfect. The bottle looks great. I love the Zoologist line more and more with each fragrance that I smell from them. It's just like the ultimate niche house. It really is. It's just like fun and like, at first, okay, when I first thought of Zoologist, I thought it was gonna be a little too gimmicky, or everything was gonna smell like just straight ass. But honestly, like, they're all good. They really are. There's some challenging ones, yes, but I mean, most of them are like creative as shit and smell pretty good. And Rabbit is probably the most approachable in the whole line to me personally. It's the most mass appealing out of the Zoologist line. There's a couple other ones, you know, Harvest Smells, Dodo Jackfruit, but this one, it has a little bit of interestingness to it with the dried leaves or like the dusty grass smell or like a rabbit hole, but it has that cream cheese vanilla frosting note that just pulls it together and it makes it very unique. Overall, if you just love gourmand fragrances or you're a fan of the Zoologist line, you definitely check this out. You know, if you don't like sweet fragrances, just forget about it. But if you like gourmands, super edible, realistic ones, you got, I mean, at least get a sample. You gotta get your nose on this. You know, I can't wait for the next one. Wait, let me do that again. What is the next one gonna smell like? I don't even know what they're releasing. Word on the street, there's a few more coming out this year. And I don't know, I'm gonna get them. Apparently I did get Chinese food.